Howdy everybody, welcome back to the Cast Gaming Channel. James here once again. I've got another Napoleonic Total War 3 mod replay for you guys today. But before we go ahead and get into it, I just want to remind everybody once again, I am sponsoring a Napoleonic Total War 3 mod tournament. It will be a 4 versus 4 tournament with a first prize of $100, and I'd also like to interview the winning team. So if you're interested in that tournament or you'd like to send me any replays, go ahead and send something to my email address, which is TheCastGamingChannel@gmail.com, or you can go ahead and down to the description box below and click the link to my Discord. Send me something there in the replay section, and my email address will also be in the description box. So with that, let's go ahead and get into today's game. It's going to be a 4 versus 4 on a historical battle map of Castiglione or Castiglione. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Whatever. But let's go ahead and get into this replay here. I slowed it down a little bit just in case there's any battles quick at the beginning here. We have, for the coalition today, we have this Russian guerrilla faction. And they're actually holding this middle position here. And on the far right side of the coalition, took me a second to find him here, is going to be Brunswick, is army number 2. And then army number 3 for the coalition is going to be the Russian Guard from 1812. Finally, the last army for the coalition, almost past him here, is going to be the United Kingdom from the 1812 war versus the United States. Now, for the Imperial factions today, we have the Army of Italy as faction number 1. Let's see if I can find them all here. Denmark is faction number 2. It's going to be the United States as faction number 3, and the Imperial Guard as faction number 4. So, a brief tactical, well, maybe not so brief, but tactical overview of this map. I know some of you guys enjoy hearing about my thoughts on the map. The guerrilla faction for Russia actually pushed up early and starts on this hill. The original starting position is all the way in the back here with the other Russian faction. But I like what he's done here. He's taken the high ground with a great defensive position. It's going to cause some problems for the Imperials, or at least potentially. But if you look on the left side of the map here, it's extremely flat and open. So either side can actually try and maneuver on this side if they would like. Or they can choose to try and maneuver on the right side because this is such a large open map today. This right side has more hills, and it's got some streams or rivers, whatever you want to call these, across the battlefield. Now, if it was me personally commanding the armies today, if I was choosing to maneuver, which I would do, I would take my armies on this side if I was either the Imperials or Coalition. And the reason I would do that is because of this center section here, this ridge here, along with this defensive position. So if you are taking artillery fire from this center position, if you're on this open map here, you don't have anything to protect you against artillery. And if you were on the left side, well, there's some hills and some streams to protect you against potential cav charges and artillery fire you can hide from while you're trying to move your armies. Now, if you're the coalition, the left side is what I might choose. Well, as I was saying before, either side I would probably choose this left side, but the coalition has the advantage here, at least at the initial beginning, because they have this strong defensive position, which means they command the high ground. They can put artillery on top here and kind of force the Imperials to react. Now, if you are the Imperials today, you have some great options for attacking. And I would recommend, as the Imperials, I would recommend avoiding this center defensive position. Don't even mess with it. Just go around it. In fact, the two best options are, like I said, maneuvering, but you can take two armies, let's say the Imperial Guard and the United States, and just head after Brunswick, take them together. Or you could shift all of your armies over to the left, with Denmark being the far right, just to kind of pin this Russian guerrilla faction down in the defensive position, and then have 3 of your armies go after this Brunswick unit. And you can see that Brunswick is extremely far away from any Russian reinforcements in the center. Now, if you choose the right side, well, you can effectively do the same thing. Shift all your armies to the right side, have have the Imperial Guard actually be the position that holds this Russian guerrilla faction at bay. Meanwhile, you take your 3 armies, you push up all the way across the land, and you envelop the United Kingdom on this flank. And the Russian reinforcements will have to react. If they're coming after to defend or link up with Brunswick, then they'll have to come all the way over. But either way, you have an opportunity to isolate either faction of the coalition. It just depends on which side you like to take. Now, the final option you could do would just be to take all of your armies and do your best to storm this center position. However, if you've been following along on this channel, you know that's not something that I like to do. I don't like to fight by houses because they're excellent defensive positions. Not only is there a house here, it's on top of a giant elevation that you cannot storm except by going on a couple sides. You have to go all the way around on this left, or you have to come up this road, which has some mines placed on it. Not to mention, you'll be taking artillery fire potentially from either flank. So I would just do my best to avoid this. This is an LOC point match today. There's only 2 pointers. There's a single 2-pointer on either side. The first 2-pointer is right here. The other one is in the historical town on the other side of the map. So I don't think this is going to be much of a historical, or I'm sorry, it's not going to be much of a battle over points. I think this is going to be more of a death match today. But enough of my tactical overview. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts on the battle. And I'll go ahead and return this to normal speed here. Because I don't like to miss action at the beginning of the battle if I can help it. I'd like to give you guys a tactical overview on things, my thoughts on the battle. But Denmark's actually caught out of position here and took some artillery fire from the crest of this hill, which is what I mentioned earlier, and then got charged by some guerrilla cav units. Italy needs to be careful. There's still this artillery piece on the hill. There's some supporting cav from the guerrilla Russian faction. And it looks like some more Russian guerrilla units are trying to chase down an Imperial Guard unit, but I'm not sure why he's running away. He should just charge these right into Russia's cav. He'd win hands down in a melee combat. And there goes that Russian cav. They're probably not going to return. Now, the thing about Nerod here, which is the guerrilla Russian faction, it's more of a holding a forward point. You place your guerrillas on to either slow down the enemy advance or take and hold a position. It's not going to win in a straight fight, most likely against factions. So whoever is playing Russia has done a good job by taking this excellent defensive position at the start of the game. I'm glad that they noticed it. It's probably going to give some things for the Imperials to think about. So Denmark is actually going off alone here on the right side. It appears this is not something that I would recommend because you're cut off from your allies essentially. So I would rather see Italy come up to Denmark's aid here, and I'd rather see that all of these armies are shifting over one side, over to one side together. I don't think it's a good idea to separate your units, especially with this pivot point here for whoever holds this high ground. Not sure what these guys are firing at. Are these some skirmishers in the building here? Yeah, it looks like they are. Don't know what they're firing at, though. Maybe there's some units in the house there. But Denmark's continuing to push up. Let's see. Looks like United Kingdom is coming this way. Denmark could potentially have some good firing positions if they get into this hill right here. If they can push up into this hill very, very quickly. It looks like Denmark's general was charged here by some dragoons. There's a 7-man dragoon unit? I didn't know that. Light dragoons. That's weird. That's crazy. Yeah, but don't stop here, Denmark. Keep going up. Keep moving up. You can use your cav to take this high ground here because UK is coming over. Also be helpful if you had some artillery on your side. Looks like we have some cav forming here on the left side. France is going in for a charge against the Russian Guard from 1812. May actually be able to rout these guys on the right side. It's not looking as good on this left side for France. Brunswick is now entering the fight here. And it looks like they're going to rout France. There they go. France was routed over here as well, along with the United States cav. Luckily, they were able to get rid of this Russian Guard cav. There's a ton more cav coming after France, and I think this engagement was a little bit premature for France. Don't send your unit in here. You're just sacrificing it to no effect. It's not helping you prevent anything. It could be better served guarding your line infantry. Careful you don't shoot your own units here, United States. Let's see if anything is developed on this right side. Not sure how this Denmark unit routed. Maybe he got charged here. Denmark, if you're going to push up against the United Kingdom, it's better if you hold the high ground. If you were on this point right here, you'd have a little bit of protection from this cav. Due to the rivers also holding the high ground, you could catch the United Kingdom coming through this crossing right here. Unfortunately, that's a missed opportunity. Don't even bother with pushing back this cav on this left side. This infantry could be better used taking this forward position. You have the cav on this side. Not to mention, it's probably just a better idea at this point, Denmark, to fall back, join your allies, and maybe, or at very least, have Italy come up and help support you against the United Kingdom while Russia is busy trying to attack this left flank. And Russia's going to have the cav advantage here, or the coalition rather is going to have the cav advantage now that all this cav from the left flank has pretty much routed. And I think it's better at this point for the United Kingdom, or I'm sorry, the United States and the Imperial Guard to just fall back. Fall back. Don't even bother engaging. I would shift my armies, as I was talking about at the beginning of this match. Just shift your armies over here. Try and isolate the United Kingdom as best you can. And just kind of overwhelm them. At best, leave an army here as a delaying tactic against any encroaching infantry from Brunswick or Russia, or the Russian Guard. The other option is too, I mean, if you're hell-bent on attacking, Brunswick is still extremely isolated on this far side. So you could potentially attack Brunswick. However, Brunswick's got some cav into the back lines of the Imperials, going in for a charge here. Probably going to be able to get skirmishers into the line here. I don't know if it's going to be able to get the artillery. Something's routed. Okay, it was able to get their artillery. Now the Brunswick cav is routed, but excellent charge. Catching the Imperial Guard. And it's just not looking good. The Imperials are just disorganized here. Just super disorganized. They need to get in the line a little bit better. Need to position their infantry. Let's see. On the right side, it looks like Denmark has engaged the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, United Kingdom was able to take the ground. And that's why I had advocated earlier to have Denmark push up on top of the hill. Push up on top of this hill so you could hold the high ground, take some shots as the United Kingdom's trying to get in the line. Now you're on even, if not worse, ground against the United Kingdom. That's not going to help you. Your armies are thin very here. You're going to most likely be able to be outflanked on this side. It looks like the United Kingdom's going to be able to get the local superiority on Denmark in this section. His lines are very thin as well. Not to mention there's all of these reinforcements right here from the United Kingdom they can bring to bear. Also some artillery that's coming up. And I do not see any artillery from Denmark, which is a mistake. However, Denmark still has 4 units right here. It looks like all 4 of them are squareable. I don't know why he's just leaving them here. He should be using these to get onto the left flank of the United Kingdom. It's extremely weak. He could push this. He could push these units all the way through this flank. He could threaten these guns. He could get rid of these units on the left of his flank right here. Instead, he's just kind of being disorganized. Don't push up your units through the water. It's going to tire them out. It's going to make them less effective in battle. And you can see the right side is already falling. One unit's already routing. Another one's morale is low. Unfortunately, his general has already gone, so he's not going to be able to support his units. UK doing a good job getting his units in line. Moving them up, getting the local superiority on Denmark's flank here after he's routed a unit. And Denmark's only real possibility right now, his only real line of... really he should just be retreating. That's what I'm trying to say. A little tongue-tied. I couldn't think of the word, so there you go. These 4 units are still not doing anything. It's unlikely he's going to be able to get around these units at this point. They need to be extended to the right flank to support against this United Kingdom push. Italy, you are going about this all wrong. You need to come over to support your ally here on the far right flank. Don't even bother with the Russian guerrilla faction. Brunswick is coming on the flank of the Imperials on this left side. And the Imperials really need to shift over to address this issue. It looks like the Russian Guard is going to join the hill. So if I was the United States, I would leave just a small rear guard, maybe about 4 units, to hold back the Russian Guard. You've always got this house as a fallback position to fight against any Russian advances. Take the rest of your units and armies. Brunswick there's a huge gap between these armies, with the exception of the cav. Take your infantry. Have the Imperial Guard go at Brunswick. Have the rest of the United States armies wrap around this right side, or they could wrap around the left side of Brunswick. Either way. Or vice versa, you could push the Imperial Guard on the far left with the United States engaging. It just depends on how you want to communicate it, how you feel about your defensive capabilities or offensive capabilities on the armies. But there's a real opportunity here. And it looks like he's stacking, let's see, we got 8, 9 United States armies, or I'm sorry, units here. This is way too much to keep them at bay. Like I said, at least take 4 of these units. At least take 4 of these units and shift them over. Shift them over. Brunswick is kind of disorganized at the moment. You can get some excellent fire on them. Denmark still engaged with the United Kingdom. Denmark has some beautiful looking units. The red coats of Denmark are really nice. You take a look at the United Kingdom. I like the United Kingdom uniforms. I don't know, I just feel... There you go, there's a volley on your face. As I was saying, for some reason, I just like the Denmark uniforms better. I was going to say I think their red is a little bit darker, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Maybe I'm just hoping that's the case. Denmark's engaged in the line battle. I'm not sure what Italy is doing. I think they're just trying to threaten the flank, but there's these 4 units that could be coming on to help out the left flank of Denmark. Denmark is not going to fare very long against the United Kingdom. Oh, I'm sorry, guy. R.I.P. Denmark's not going to fare very long without his general, without support from his units. You can see units in the distance already lowering their morale. There's a small unit, not many men left in that. Routing unit in the background from Denmark. It's just not looking good on this flank. Denmark, I think your best bet right now is just to retreat. Continue to retreat. Keep your army intact. There's this house right here, which would be a better defensive position. You'd also be able to link up with Italy. Maybe even force Italy to see what the heck is going on with your army. But right now you need to fall back, my friend. Fall back. Don't lose any more men. Get out of range of this encroaching artillery. So again, the United States still just has some armies right here. This is not a... I'd recommend against this. I don't know why the United States push up just these 4 infantry units by itself. Would have been better served against Brunswick and protecting any counter charges, or I'm sorry, any charges from the coalition cav. Brunswick is finally engaged with the Imperial Guard. So Brunswick is engaged across the entire line here. United States needs to be careful. It's just these skirmishers right here. They could easily be charged, just like Brunswick is doing against the Imperial Guard's general right here. He's able to form square. Cav is having to retreat here. United Kingdom, or I'm sorry, the United States also has some guns. It really should be repositioning these guns to the line. I'm not sure what it's doing on this, in this middle section. Maybe it's going after some cav over there, but that's not where the artillery is needed. Good job in the United States routing this Brunswick light cav. Careful you don't push up your infantry too hard here. Yes, your infantry is better than Brunswick 1-to-1, but Brunswick could have multiple units firing on you, getting the local superiority, which would not be helpful. Brunswick went in for a charge here. Was able to do some damage, get the morale a little bit low from this French infantry unit, but had to retreat. Take this unit, if you can, France, and put it in the line battle or have it flank around. Better served. This is really frustrating me. There's way too many units here. It needs to be pushed up here in the center. Some cav could go after these guns or into the flanks potentially if they needed to. Italy, I don't recommend you storming against the Russian guard on top of a hill position. I don't know what you're thinking. Your unit morale is already low. I don't know why you're charging this into the guard. It's broken. And while we were taking a look at the other side, Denmark decided that he wasn't going to fall back, that he was going to stick it out, and this is the end result. His army is collapsed. He didn't even make it to this the house, the defensive position, and he's cut out of guard. Now Italy is trying to storm a superior defensive position against two superior armies, or at least one superior army, on an elevation with a house, and now United Kingdom is threatening his flank. He's threatened to be enveloped by the United Kingdom. It's just I'm not sure what the strategy here was from the Imperials, but it's whatever it is, you need to change it up. It's not working right now. There is a nice gap here, even though there's some artillery with some cav stacked on top of the artillery, unfortunately. There is an opportunity to take these guard right here, hit them into the flank, or shift over. Have some units come to the flank of Brunswick on this side. Russians are charging into the United States cav, probably going to be able to rout it. There they go. I'm not sure what this artillery is just sitting here for. It's not doing anything. It's way out of position. Maybe the United States is having some trouble micromanaging here. Maybe they got distracted by this Russian charge. Be careful. I was just going to say, the skirmishers here again don't have any support. Brunswick is charging its cav into these skirmisher units. Probably will be able to rout them. See if we can get a volley back from the Imperial Guard. There you go. Give it right back to Brunswick. See how it's going on this right side. UK is coming over. Italy is having to fall back. And if anything, Italy, you should be joining the fight on the left side. Or at very least, you should be holding a key position to help give your armies on the left side time to defeat Brunswick. And the United States, you're just killing me by leaving all those units there. They're really not necessary. Now, Brunswick is smart. What he's going to do, if he can't beat these factions by himself or he doesn't get any support, he can just fall back, give his allies time on the other side of the map to wrap around, defeat what's left of the Imperials on that side, and come to his aid. However, it looks like the centers has kind of fallen here for the Imperials, leaving a gap. The United States is having a disorganized retreat. I don't think any of his units can form square. Brunswick is pushing up his units, as he should. And it's just time for the United States to fall back, losing too many units on this push. The Imperial Guard on this side, they're trying to push up too hard against Brunswick. Brunswick looks like it's caving a little bit, but he's going to be able to retreat these guys. And if the Imperial Guard pushes up too far, he's going to be cut off. Brunswick would be able to retreat on this side, hold the Imperial Guard in place. Brunswick could take its units over here and just kind of sandwich, envelop the Imperial Guard because it's overextended itself. Looks like Italy is still alive here. He did take this house. Unfortunately, he didn't fight by it. which is a big mistake. That house would have been helpful for his defense. He's not doing too bad of a job here on this left center. On this left side. Looks like the United Kingdom is hurting. He should be pushing up this unit on this to get some flanking fire on this left side, get the local superiority against those units. There's also these other reinforcements. But I think at this point it's better just to retreat his armies. There's too much coming on the right side for his armies really to do anything. It needs to fall back to the house, take this ridge right here, fight the United Kingdom on that, or fight them by this house. They could potentially take this ridge against the United Kingdom, however they would be threatened by the center section here. Looks like Russia's going in for a charge against the United States, as the United States is weakening, does not have very many units that can form square. They're going to become quickly outflanked by this Russian Guard infantry. Some more charges against the line of the United States. The Imperial Guard's pushed itself way too far away. He's chasing a half army of Brunswick. It's just not good. Fall back, guys. Get to a better defensive position. Fight them on this hill if you can. Italy and United Kingdom still looking to engage with the last remaining unit of Denmark. Some abandoned cannons. But it's just time for the Imperials to retreat right now. Get up on top of this hill if you can. Looks like we have a bunch of Russian cav in the back of the Imperials. It is not looking good for this disorganized Imperial army. The scattered forces everywhere. Looks like the Imperial Guard is trying to reposition his units to commit, but it's just not a smart idea fighting units piecemeal like this. The United States still continued to fall back and be disorganized here. At least they have this house, which they should be fighting by. It looks like there was a charge against Italy on the right flank, potentially, or maybe the army just crumbled from a superior fighting force here from the United Kingdom. And they're not going to last very long. I didn't recommend fighting a pitched battle like they were doing. And it cost them. Imperial Guard trying to reposition its men. Love these white uniforms with the red plumes. That's really cool. Now Brunswick can come back over, envelop what's left of the Imperial Guard on this left flank. Not too bad of a job here getting some good fire on this line unit. Getting the morale lowered. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to have enough to defeat Brunswick. United States really needs to get themselves into a line somewhere. Get on top of this hill right here. Extend your army out. Try and keep the house if you can. And the Imperial Guard should be retreating. It should be falling back if it can. It's probably not going to be able to defeat Brunswick. But this right here, the Imperial Guard is a 10-pointer faction. It should be easily, it should have an easy time defeating Brunswick in line battle. And for the most part, when it's a static line battle, they can do it. Unfortunately, what they're doing here is they're dividing their armies too much. They're overextending themselves. They've used up their cav. So this 6-pointer army is able to defeat an army that's 4 points higher than it. And that's just what you can. I mean, you can defeat a superior opponent as long as your skill and tactics are superior to your opponents. So you can see this general unit is nearby its troops. It has been for the entire time. If Brunswick really wanted to, he could charge these units right into these skirmishers. You can see just one volley against this Young Guard unit from the Imperial Guard. Its morale is lowering. It's got to retreat. These Guard units, not even moving. I don't even know if the Imperial Guard knows they're still there. But you can see a 1-to-1 line battle. The morale of this unit is very, very low. This unit's been engaged for a while. It's taken a lot of losses, but yet it's still able to get this morale down. But Brunswick has a local superiority, not only on this side, but on this side as well. So it's not really mattering how well the Imperial Guard's individual units are. The United States continue to fall back against Russia on this flank. They're a little bit too disorganized for my taste once again. If you wanted to try to do some flanking fire, you should have formed a line on top of this hill and then tried to outflank Russia on this side, or on this hill, let Russia come across, take some units on this left side and wrap around Russia as best you can. But otherwise, fighting on even ground or trying to protect against Cav is just not a good idea when your units can't form square. They're getting back charged here by some more Russian Cav. UK is finally coming over after defeating Italy and Denmark. Imperial Guard is retreating as best it can at the moment. It's still trying to push against Brunswick on this side. Brunswick can just retreat, link up with Russia. Doesn't even have to bother with the Imperial Guard at this point since the rest of the armies are routing. It's a massive rout here by the United States. Looks like this Cav's going to do some farming work. Nothing left of anybody on this right side. Coalition holds all of the buildings. The only one that's left are the few remaining units from the Imperial Guard. Again, you can see 1-to-1. Imperial Guard comes out on top, shaking morale from these line units. But there just isn't enough. Imperial Guard shifting over its units. I think this is a general unit that's routing. Yep. Now Russia's charging in. Getting into melee combat. Able to rout these Imperial Guard units, and my guess is Brunswick will probably just end up charging the rest of its units in. Routing up, those are the last two units here on the battlefield. So, unfortunately, there was a misstep here from the Imperials. Trying to piecemeal their attacks everywhere. This Italy unit trying to storm this heavily defended position against the superior army did not go very well for them. There were just missteps all over. The only good choice that I saw for the Imperials today was trying to outflank Brunswick and try and separate them. Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize that. But anyway, Good game to everybody. I will go ahead and read the stats for you guys here. I plucked this replay from the Lord's Discord sent in by Templar Valentin. And he was playing as the United Kingdom. And he had 2,315 kills. The next individual was M3 Grand playing as Brunswick, 907 kills. The Guerrilla Russian faction, the Nerod faction, was played by Ares, and he had 1,018 kills. And then finally, the 1812 Russian Guard was played by Munkus with 1,198 kills. Steely Dan was playing in the United States. He's got his own YouTube channel. Go ahead, check him out. He's got 558 kills. Followed by Grognard Restlin. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Was playing as Denmark, and he had 495 kills. Luigi was playing as the Imperial Guard with 826 kills, and Game Lord, who I believe has his own YouTube channel, check him out, was playing as Italy with 496 kills. So the top, holy cow, the top unit was a Dragoon unit, and they had 456 kills. Not too shabby. Go down the list here. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you on the next one.